We will now start. Can I ask you all to stand, and a hearty good morning to each and every one of you.
Resolution.
I'd like to dedicate this to my father, Francis L. It's a song the girls in the band wrote, Lisa and Wendy.
You can take your seat. Thank you so much. We are on live stream, and there are also people in the UK and Australia watching us over here in South Africa. A hearty welcome to all of you on the live stream session as well. We've already started, but may I ask you if you can switch off your cell phones? If there is a need that you have to speak to somebody or that someone has to get hold of you, just put it on vibrate, and then you can, once it rings and vibrate in your pocket, you can go outside and have a chat. Okay. If there's people that would like to go to the cloakrooms, if you go outside the door where you came in, alongside the church, walk through alongside the church through to the back, there's a parking lot there, and on the left-hand side, as you go through, there's a building there. The very first room is the ladies, and the second one is the gents, if there is a need for you to go whilst the service is on. We are gathered here today in loving memory of Peter Allen Davies, who was born on the 17th of June in 1967 and passed away on the 12th of January 2022. His passing is deeply mourned by his children, Michaela and Jason, Dad Kenneth Davies, his sisters and their spouses, Debbie and Jennifer, nephew Matthew, niece Michelle, nephew Mark, niece Janelle, niece Sandy, nephew Colin, and other family and friends. My name is Thijs van Grienen. I'm one of the pastors here at the Westland Bikers Church. And on behalf of the Westland Bikers Church, we are offering to all his friends, the family that's here today, those that could not attend, our deepest sympathy. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. I know it is not easy. It's a difficult time because we have lost someone that we dearly love, and there is heart sore in ourselves. But let us embrace all the good times that we've had with Peter. Times we were privileged to have shared with the deceased Peter Davies. I will call on Mariska to come and read a poem.
Good morning to everybody, from me and from the children. Thank you for your support. Family, this poem was selected by Jason and Michaela to be read this morning. Miss me. When I come to the end of the road and the sun has set on me, I want no tears in a gloomful room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me a little, but not for too long, and not for with your head bowed down. Remember the love that we once shared. Miss me, but let me go. For this is a journey we all must take, and each must go alone. It's all a part of the Master's plan, a step on the road to home. When you are lonely and sick of heart, go to the friends that we know and bury your sorrows in doing good works. Miss me, but let me go.
Thank you so much, Mariska. There's 8 verses that I'm going to read from Ecclesiastes. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. There is time for everything. So Peter Allen Davies also had his season. There was also a time for him to live and a time for him to die. This is not like our normal services, so it's going to be very, very short on the request of the family and friends, and this is how we will deal with it. We will now do the tributes, and I will ask Ross, where are you? Over there. Ross is the brother-in-law.
Good day to everybody. On behalf of Peter, thanks for coming. On behalf of his sister, she's very happy that he had so many great friends that are here gathered today. In loving memory of you, brother, if I had one wish today, I know what it would be. Just to see your face again would mean the world to me. But things that we may wish for sometimes cannot come true. I only have my memories of special times I spent with you. Each one of these so precious, no one could take away. Loving thoughts I keep of you each and every day. So I'll look up to the sky. Shit. When it's a starry night, I know that you'll be there, that biggest star shining bright. Thank you.
Thank you, Ross. Under the tributes and theology, we will now look at a video of his sister who's sent it on to Mariska, and we will play that for you. His sister Jennifer.
Okay. Peter, you rode your life like no other, so courageous and pure. We had a great childhood. You inspired me in many ways. You were my big brother. Always encouraging and full of smiles and jokes. You lifted us all up, even when you were hurting and going through hell. You always cracked a joke and made us all laugh. You raised your family on your own, being both mum and dad. You have two beautiful children who you now leave behind, but let them be reassured that you're holding their hand and looking down on them. I am most certain that you gave them everything and the very best that you could have. And a little part of them is left inside. A little part of you is left inside them. They know they are loved and not forgotten. We are here for them. We're family. I will cherish your life in my memory a little each day. Remembering the great times we had together, your warm smile, sparkly eyes and cherry-coloured cheeks. Till we meet again, my darling. Ride that road in heaven, put Mum upon your seat. You took away the pain with your last heartbeat. Drive the angels crazy and stop in the pearly pub. Shout out down here. It's great up here. I gave my mum a hug. No more pain and suffering, just the winds behind your back, flying through those pearly gates, never looking back. Dad was so proud of you for what you had become, a true gentleman and loving dad. Always having time for everyone. Dad is happy you're not suffering anymore and would rather celebrate your life with a cheer. So somewhere in London in Dorset, he shouts out goodbye with a beer. Fly high, Pete. I will always love you. You were my rock, my big brother, and I'll love you forever. Love, Jen, Jim, Dad, Chanel.
We will now look at another video clip that we have received from his friend Katie. Okay, sorry, the order that we've got upstairs here is from the father first, so we'll have a look at that. And then after that, we will look at the video clip from Katie.
Peter, your mum and myself are very proud of what you have achieved in your lifetime. But God, in His wisdom, decided to take you to save you any more suffering. Peter, rest in peace, my son.
My thoughts on the wonderful Peter Davies. Peter, thank you for being you, for looking after us 20 odd years ago when I used to work for you. Thanks to Jen for introducing us. You hired me blind, which was really good of you. You helped us through a lot of troubles in that I wasn't sure what was happening in my life, and you were just ever so soft and gentle. I'll never forget when Dad died. I was still working for you. In fact, that was just before I left. And you had said you had wished the world would just stand still so that you could grieve. Well, those words have helped me a couple of times with, my dad's passing, and then my dad's passing at the time, my husband's passing, my mom's passing, and a few really good friends since, and have never been so apt as they are for watching you. The last year has been horrendous for you, and my heart has gone out to you at every opportunity to. I am so sorry we weren't as close or we weren't as in touch as we used to be a few years beforehand, but please know that my thoughts were always with you. You would come into my thoughts frequently. They still are there. In fact, I've been thinking of you a lot these last couple of days, been asked to do this, and I thought, yeah, no problem. But where does one start to try and put into words what you were to so many of us? I will just go from me. For me, you were such a generous, funny, very funny person, very dry sense of humour. I'll never forget, you had a black Alsatian. I said, what's his name? Black Jack. Why Black Jack? Well, because he's black. And I just couldn't call him Black. Okay. And your cat's name was Cat. Okay. And your two fish, I don't know if you remember them. One was white, and his name was, you're never going to believe this, Vit. And the other one was orange, and he was Blitz. I'll never forget one weekend, you'd gone away home and come back on Monday morning to find bits of computer in the fish tank. And it took me a couple of days to ask you why, because I thought, well, maybe you're doing something, I don't know. And he says, well, what are they? And I said, I have no idea. And he said, well, they're chips. And you said, well, they're chips. And I said, well, now you've got dinner, there's fish and chips. There's your humour. Over the weekend, I've gone to so many places to try and make a nice background for you for this video. And it's like you said, in my part of Muddy Island, it only rains twice a year. January to June and June to December. And you were right, because wherever we've been, it's been lovely, and I'll set up and start, and then the rain comes. So your thoughts, your humour is always, it's never far from my mind. Your generosity, your humbleness, there's just so many adjectives, and I can't think of any at the moment for you. But please know you were really loved by me for a very, very long time, and you will always have a very special part of my heart. To Jen, Jimmy, the girls, to Debbie and Ross and your family, I don't know who they are, to Michaela and to Jason, my heart really does go out for you. Please know that it does get easier, not straight away and not for a while, but it does get easier. Mariska, God knows where that family would be without you. Thank you so much for everything you've done pre-me, and now you are such a trooper. You've just taken it all in your stride. There's so much love for all of you. Take care. And for Peter, may your angels always be with you. You were one of a kind. So much love for you. Bye-bye.
There's a letter from his daughter and son, which I would like Mariska to come forth and read that to us, please. Fine. Perfect. Okay.
I will never forget the special hugs you gave me when I was sad, and I'd come lay by you in your bed. We had so many plans for the future, and I promise I'll make those plans happen for you. And for a fact, I'm going to get my international dance colors for you this year and go to Barcelona. And I will never forget how proud of me you were. You were forever and always in my heart. I will never forget that you, the sweetest soul, were my everything. Not just my dad, but my best friend. I love you forever.
Thank you, Mickey. This letter is from Jason. Dear Dad, I will really miss you. I really, really loved you. You were the best dad ever. We had great fun. I will never forget you. Love, Jason.
Sure. Mariska, I don't know, can you come here, please, because the acknowledgement's next on the list. Precious words from a daughter and a son. And this is how we should live our lives as well, to one another. Do good unto your brother, your sister.
Where does one start? The following acknowledgements and a great big thank you go out to those who have been involved in, well, the journey called Peter's life over the past year or so. They're in no particular order, and please, if I do omit anybody, I apologize in advance. Before I start with acknowledgements, first and foremost, I want to commend Michaela and Jason for being brave little soldiers during their dad's illness and the journey we have had to endure, especially this past year. You rock and you are amazing. To Debbie, who all the way in the UK took my calls at all hours of the night and day, when life or death decisions had to be made on behalf of Peter, and supported those decisions, which I can assure you were tough at times. Jennifer, in Oz, thank you for your love and encouragement. When at the times there was rain clouds over my head, you cheered me up. Netcare Private Hospital, Krugersdorp, and their staff, thank you for what you've done for Peter. The nurses would pop in and ask him, can we fluff up your pillow? Can we adjust the leg? Even if they weren't on duty. And especially to Dr. Mokatong and Dr. Mutambi. Dr. Mutambi cut his leave short in December to come and adhere to Peter and make sure that he was taken care of. These doctors went above and beyond to assist Peter. And all the other doctors, too many to mention here, thank you all for what you've done. To all other medical staff, the physio, Ronel Fenter and team, the wound care clinic, Sister Cindy Fenter and Sister Leilani, Caroline, who tortured Peter in his bed at home with her physio, and to Peter Smith, thank you for your regular visits and for taking Peter to alternate doctors and specialists so that we could try and help him. To the ambulance service, and I don't think there are many who can say we have a private ambulance service that delivers some request out of their job spec to ensure the high quality of customer service goes beyond and above. Tabisu, you and your team, thank you to you for being there at a drop of a hat, whether it was to transport Peter from one facility to the next, or navigate getting him into the dentist office, or even creating a bit of excitement at the bank when we rolled up there in an ambulance gurney to ensure Peter's bank's stuff is sorted out. And of course, for laughing at me, Peter included, as I militantly counted out our moves to ensure we work as a team so that he didn't suffer more pain that was needed when we had to get him from his bed onto the ambulance gurney. I shall recommend your service many times over. Care work at home, Amanda for arranging the best home caregivers we could have asked for. Sue for popping in regularly. And to Happiness and Lindiwe. Words cannot express what you meant to Peter, and our gratitude for ensuring no matter what, you always put his comfort and wishes first and took care of him like doting mothers. I mean, you made such an impression on Peter that at some point I was instructed to put your CVs together to take it to Crane Park Frail Care because he only wanted you to look after him, even there. Which brings me to Crane Park Frail Care. Let's face it, those of us who were in the firing line at times knew Peter was let's just put it, a fussy patient. But for him to have requested rather to go to Crane Park than the regular step-down facilities, well, that said a lot. Cecile, Esme and staff, thank you for ensuring Peter was happy and taken care of at your facility. Marley, thank you for the physio work you did there with Peter and for checking in on him even when you were off duty. Alex, Desmond, Margaret, Pete, welcome, and Joseph, a huge big thank you for pulling together as a team and ensuring the company and the household ran smoothly. Martin's Funeral Services, Ananda, thank you to you and your team who rallied to ensure Peter was taken care of after his passing with dignity and grace. For the amazing display in the church, I think we can all agree it looks amazing. and for the funeral letters and all other matters relating to the final resting place. Pastor Thys and the Bikers Church, thank you for availing this lovely venue to us for this memorial service and for assisting in all of us being able to say our last farewell to Peter. To Christa Groede, Graham Priester, I don't know if he's here, because then people tell me about Graham and then they talk about Priester and I found out it's the same guy, so. And the Chains, thank you for riding together as a last farewell to fellow Jane and cherished friend. Matthew, a special and truly sincere thank you to you. Short of being kicked out on your hiney by the sisters, spending several quality hours with Peter during a hospital visit. I hope you realize just what exceptional impact your visit had on Peter. Then last but by no means least, to every single friend and acquaintance who popped in for a short visit or dropped a message via SMS or WhatsApp, just to check in and find out how Peter and the kids were doing. Thank you, really thank you. To all who are sitting here today, thank you. Thank you for being part of Peter's life, for experiencing life with him at many occasions, and for being here to say a last farewell to a dad, a son, a husband, a brother, uncle, a comrade, and a friend. I salute you.
Thank you, Mariska. We can now relax. The lights will go off and we will have a look at this slideshow. Nee, dat is hier. Ja, maar ik het...
A melody pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Singing, no worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, no worry about a thing, every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a about a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
Can I please ask you to stand? And this is now the end of our proceedings, and we will listen to a song, Leave a Light On. And after that, we will leave, and for those that, especially the bikers at Fogarty's, you can go have a toot there. And apparently there's a platter arranged for those people that cannot make it to Fogarty's. Okay.
The second someone mentioned you were all alone, I could feel the trouble coursing through your veins. Now I know it's got a hold. Just a phone call left unanswered had me sparking now. These cigarettes won't stop me wondering where you are. Don't let go, keep a hold. If you look into the distance, there's a house upon the hill, guiding like a lighthouse. It's a place where you'll be safe to feel like grace, 'cause we've all made mistakes. If you've lost your way, I will leave the light on. 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 Tell me what's been happening, what's been on your mind. Lately you've been searching for a darker place to hide. That's alright, but if you carry on abusing, you'll be robbed from us. I refuse to lose another friend to drugs. Just come home, don't let go. If you look into the distance, there's a house upon the hill, guiding like a lighthouse. It's a place where you'll be safe to feel our grace, 'cause we've all made mistakes. If you've lost your way, I will leave the light on. 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 If you look into the distance, I will leave the light on. 'Cause I will leave the light on.
Thank you so much. Be blessed. Whilst we walk out, there's a song that his sister in the UK wanted us to play, so you can go. And whilst you're walking out, we will be playing that to you. All right.
Over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, birds fly, birds